Hey team, this is Melanie Allen, Senior Ruby Ambassador. We're super excited to have Dr. Graham on tonight. She went to this amazing event called Mastermind, and she is going to share us all her tips that she learned. This is going to be a two-part series, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Graham.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I went to an annual convention called Mastermind, and it is for MLM companies. People from all over the world came to this event, not just United States companies. There are people from Portugal, Spain, Central and South American countries, Canada, some Scandinavian countries. Anyway, people from all over the world, speakers that are representatives from all over the world as well. So it took me a couple of times looking through all my notes to finally find something that I felt like would be an asset to our group, and I just had to narrow it down. There's a lot more good information. So I want to share my screen with everyone. And how did my husband tell me to make this large? Let me think. How did he tell me? I think I click here. Is that right? And from the beginning. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so one of the speakers
we can't see your screen.
Okay, how do I make it where you can see it?
Okay, so at the bottom it should have a little green box with a little arrow that'll say share screen. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you click on that and then we can see your screen, and then you'll click play slideshow.
Okay.
So click on slideshow right there. There you go. And then it should just say, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So one of the speakers is an author and a speaker and an MLM gentleman. His name is Randy Gage. You may have read some of his books or even heard his names. But he spoke about if you are moving to the next level within your company. And he asked the question, are some of you plateaued in your business, or is your business not moving or advancing? And he dared to say it may not be because of all the work you're doing or the lack of work that you're doing, but internally. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what he is referencing. And I truly agree with him based on the experience that I have in my own other very successful business and just in life, period. So ask yourself, I'm going to propose several questions throughout this talk this evening, and truly ask yourself these questions and answer them. If you have a paper and a pen, you want to write it down, or just answer them in your head, only you can answer these things. So have you hit a plateau in your business? Second question, and is your business not moving or advancing? And one of the things that we have all heard within Plexus is if you are not being rejected, you are not selling the business. I was sharing with my husband just a little bit ago that my sister-in-law, who I have been talking to about Plexus, and she has asked me, well, send me more information. I need to research this. And she is that type of individual who likes to get all of her facts together before making a decision. And she finally replied to me this week with, no, I'm not interested. I do not want to mix family with business. And I took that personally. It took me, I'd say a couple of days. And finally, I just deleted the text off my phone because I thought, I don't want to see this. I don't want to dwell on this. But when I read this statement here, that tells me right there, that encourages me that I am promoting my business. I am promoting the products that are incredible. I do believe that they would truly help the chronic pain that she lives in, and help many other people. And that just encourages me that I truly am sharing about the business and I'm sharing about these products. But if you are not getting rejected, you need to ask yourself the question, are you selling the business? Whether it be the compensation financial part of the business, or are you selling about the products? So Randy continued on saying that there is such a thing as fear of success. Our conscious mind may tell us, I want to be a success. I want to be a diamond ambassador within Plexus. I want to have that $1,000 bonus that Plexus is offering this month. But our unconscious mind may be saying, I don't deserve it. So again, what is your mind saying? Deep down, are you truly believing that you can be the success that God wants you to be and that you're working toward? Or are you actually in the back of your mind thinking, I don't think I deserve this. I don't think I will ever be there. I never get there. These type of things don't happen to me. Anything that may be like a negative statement. You can replay every negative thought in your life. So just like that text that I deleted from my sister-in-law, she wasn't being mean in her reply. She was just being, this is where she's coming from, and her answer is no right now. But I could keep that text on my phone, and whenever I feel down, I could read it again and go, look, okay, even somebody who is family, who cares about me and cares about my well-being, is saying no to this. Instead, I chose to delete it off my phone so I would not be seeing it and I wouldn't be tempted to go back to it. But we can ask ourselves any negative thought. So anytime we use phrases like never, always, those phrases that are like big statements like that, that everything gets plumped into that category, I'd be very cautious of using those because that puts you into a state that there is no way to get out of. If you are replaying negative thoughts, this will result in questioning yourself and in doubting yourself. So in advancement and getting out of plateaus or moving along in your business, you don't need to be having any doubt. We all will have some doubt, but we don't need to be functioning off of that doubt. Limiting beliefs. Some of y'all may have heard that phrase before. This is not a new phrase to Randy Gage. It is a phrase, though, that we can hear in businesses, we can hear at church, we can hear that type of phrase at different places. But I put a couple of examples that may affect us in our business here. You may not believe you're worthy of this. And that could be something maybe that you were told at some point in your life, or maybe you have a person that you live with in your home telling you that you're not worthy of being successful in this business. Another is wealth equals greed. Sometimes this can be something that we were raised with as well, that, those wealthy people are just a bunch of greedy, non-integrity liars or whatever. You fill in the blank. Another phrase is, it's spiritual to be poor. So in other words, I cannot be a Christ-like individual if I'm wealthy. I don't believe that's true. I believe that God calls us to be able to financially take care of our families and our home, and at the same time to be able to tithe to Him. And because of those things that He's called us to do, I believe He also gives us above and beyond to be able to continue to give to His service beyond our tithe, whether it be in our time, in our talents, in our financial, whatever that be. Self-critical. Are you being self-critical of yourself? Just like my example of receiving the no this week. I could beat myself up and say, oh, look, here's another person saying no. Somebody who supposedly loves you doesn't even believe in you. So are you being self-critical? As we accomplish, are we tearing ourselves down? So last month I got to the gold level within Plexus. I could be saying to myself, wow, that was a lot of work. I don't know if I want to keep going to senior gold. Or, wow, I got to gold, but I don't think I'll be able to get any further. Look how long it took me to get to gold. Or we can tear ourselves down with anything. We have a customer who's been taking the products for a couple of months and then doesn't order and won't reply to your calls or your texts. And you think, oh, well, look here. Again, there's somebody who just is, fly by the night. They don't really care. They don't understand. Well, have you done your part? Have you done what is needed for them to know and have enough information? And then are you praying for them? You don't know what's going on inside of them. Is it a personal situation that they're having to cut way back on their expenses? Is it something that they really didn't do their part of drinking enough water, doing some exercising, trying to control what they're eating better? Or what all things are they doing? You don't know all those answers, but instead of tearing them down and maybe even tearing yourself down, thinking, I lost another one, you need to be lifting yourself up and reaching out to them and praying for them. Do you have some core values or foundational beliefs that are holding you back? Yes or no? We may all have some that we can answer that question to yes, but are they holding you back? Are they things that might be holding you back? So the examples that I gave earlier, like the one about being self-critical, like I don't deserve this, I'm not good enough, I don't have the time, I don't understand the products well enough to share. All of those things can turn into self-critical kind of statements if you take them far enough along. So answer this question in your mind right now. Do you have some core values or foundational beliefs that are holding you back? And then the next slide is if you answered no, the slide's supposed to say if you answered yes, the cause is a worthiness issue. So in other words, if you do have some core values or foundational beliefs that are holding you back, then it has something to do with your self-worthiness on the inside. And the symptoms of that, Randy went on to say, is either a plateau in your business and it's fear. So sometimes I will ask myself, what do I have to lose to share these products with this person? Whether it's an acquaintance person, a person that I don't even really know. Like over the weekend, there was a lady I just met at the buffet line, and we're talking about eating healthy. Well, I gave her one of my Plexus cards. You know, she may or may not call me on it, but at least I moved forward, and I felt the prompting to give her one, and I did. But fear could have held me back and would have said, well, she'll never call. She doesn't know me. There's no relationship there. So why should I even give her a card? Why should I waste these cards that I paid some money for on somebody that really won't even matter? Yes, she may matter, and I hope that she does and that she will reach out to me and we will move forward into her becoming a customer or an ambassador, which would be great. But fear could have held me back. A plateau, hovering at a level within Plexus, saying silver, silver, silver. You keep working a little bit here, working a little bit there. But what are you telling yourself up in the mind? What are you telling yourself that might be holding you back? You need to evaluate that. The products or Plexus compensation plan will not get you past the issue of sabotaging your success. So you can study all the products that you want. You can memorize this compensation plan and be able to explain it left and right in the most explainable version you've ever heard. But if you are still playing old tapes and old records in your mind, you will end up sabotaging your success. You will get to some point where you will not be able to move forward. You will stop at some point where it looks like you were just barely almost there. You will be so full of fear that you will not hand the card to the person in line in front of you or behind you. What will get you over these issues? What if you are sabotaging yourself? What can you do to get over these issues? Well, Randy said that the skill set of being a leader to lead a large, successful team will get you over these issues. So one of the things when I first came into Plexus, Melanie told me this, but you know, you're learning so much information and you're just trying to take one bite size that fits good into your mouth at a time to understand this. But she was saying, as your team grows, you will need to do this. And as your team grows, you will need to do this. And I was like, okay, well, my team's not even growing, so I'm just putting what she's telling me on the back burner because, well, now I have a much larger team of about 30 people or so. And I need to be stepping up in my leadership abilities in order to lead this team to success. To order to train them and encourage them to move forward in sharing the products with other people so they too can become a leader. I need to train them in how to be a leader. I need to train them in the steps to do to get customers and to get ambassadors onto their team. And then what do they share with those ambassadors so we can replicate the power of 3. So I have to build this skill set inside of me. And all of us as leaders, not all of us want to get on a video recording or an audio recording such as this and share our leadership skills. Maybe we're more the kind of leader that likes to do it via text and private message, and we love Excel spreadsheets, and we love putting all the information down. Or maybe we're the type of leader that likes to do graphs and little drawings and charts to help explain things. You know, there's somebody out there in Plexus who makes all those cute little graphics that I keep sharing on my Facebook page. It's not me, but somebody out there is doing that. Well, that's somebody that is being a leader in that category for all of us within the Plexus community to be able to share. So there's different ways what leadership looks like, but you need to grow that skill inside of you. So how does this happen? It's a process where you develop leadership skills, you hone your craft, and you develop people skills. So your leadership skills, I've already given several examples of what that looks like. Honing your craft is just continually being that leader every day, doing something more to improve your skill of leadership, improve your knowledge of the product, improve your understanding of the compensation plan. But just one of those categories alone is not going to be able to put the whole puzzle and the whole picture together. It needs to be all together growing. Now, one of the things I love about Plex is that you don't have to understand it all first in order to be able to share it. That you can be sharing as you are learning. You can be growing your business while you are growing yourself. And I just love that about it. We do not have to be paralyzed with fear of, I won't be able to answer that question. Well, there's many questions I can't answer, but I know how to find out answers to those questions. And developing people skills. We've also heard that this business is all about relationships with people. People do not buy from you unless they know how much you care about them. There is an individual that I have been referred to by another one of my ambassadors, and this individual doesn't know me. She knows my name, but that's all. We've never met. We have no, other than the mutual person that we know, there is no connection there. And it is being difficult to get a hold of her. So finally on Friday, I text her saying, you know, your mother-in-law is shared with me that she believes that you are in need of some health products because of some things you have shared with her, and she really wants me to share, and I'd love to. I have not heard back from her, but I'm trying to make that connection. I haven't made it with her yet, but developing these people skills, sometimes we have to talk to people different ways. One of my team members this evening told me something personal that's going on within her life. Well, I immediately began to pray for her, pray with her, and just walk along in life with her. Those are small ways of people skills. Sarah Marble was speaking at the conference that I went to, the Mastermind Conference, and she told us all about, and I knew what she was talking about when she was sharing it, but basically what she was talking about was the month of October when the website, the Plexus website, was revamped. And so many things got lost in that revamping or got delayed, like people's shipments were delayed, or their credit cards weren't transferred over, or that looked like their auto ship was no longer in place. And on and on, all those issues that were going on, and her being in the place that she is, just like Melanie being in the place that she is, we all looked to our leaders that were higher up that had more information than we have at the lower levels in Plexus, and saying, can you help us with this? Can you answer some of these questions? What do I tell my team? What do I tell this ambassador who's texting me? Or somebody who is upset saying, I think I'm going to just discontinue doing these products because I've been charged twice on my credit card, or whatever. And Sarah said that she spent for 3 or 4 days. She says she sat at her kitchen counter, and she showed a picture of it. She says she didn't bathe, she didn't wash her hair, she didn't change her clothes for 3 days because she was on the phone with customer service. She felt like nonstop. And then finally, at the end of those 3 days, she's like, I can't keep doing this. I've got people who are looking to me, but I cannot keep solving these issues because they're not solvable 100% right now. It's going to take some time. So she says she got up from the table, she went and took a shower, she went and visited with her mom, who I understand lives like down the street from her, and is a mentor in her life, visited with her mom, came back, and said, okay, I'm pushing all those issues to the side, and I am going to now work on my personal business. And she began focusing on what she could work on. And that gave her new perspective and a new insight. And she just said she felt like so much better. And that, of course, as we all know, the back office has daily been improving itself, which I am so grateful that Plexus has been so diligent and faithful in doing that for all of us. But developing the people skills, that at the higher levels, you may have bigger people, more people, and bigger issues you have to solve. But if you don't have those skills under your belt and you're not taking care of yourself and your skills first, you will not be prepared or able to handle them. At higher levels in the company, you are solving people issues. Several of the speakers at Mastermind said that up at these higher levels, it's all about managing the people under them. Solving issues, seeing if there is going to be some type of issue or trouble coming down the road, and then identifying them and coming up with a solution. One of the speakers, let's see if I can find it here. Yes. She said, excellent leaders see the problems before they happen and solve them before others know they exist. And she said, I'm in charge of my downline team, and if something is happening in the upline in a negative way, I'm in charge of how it's affecting my team. So Sarah Marble recognized that something was occurring, like we all did, and she quickly tried to resolve it so the negative effects would not be happening in her downline. She recognized after a period of time she was unable to resolve it. It was just going to take time. So she then straightened herself up and started to challenge the things that she knew she could work with. So us as leaders, we need to identify areas that we need to solve or to work with before they have a huge ripple effect within our team. The single most important element in any company is the field of leadership. So I wrote down several resources of books that anyone can reference and read. Some of them are on audio, some of them are Kindle or a physical book. And you've heard numerous of these titles before. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and these are all leadership books. Pushing Up People by Art Williams, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley, The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey, and The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So those are some resources. There's many more leadership books that are out there and resources, but this Mastermind conference was one of the tools that I know helped me to become a better leader, either in my Plexus business or in my other business that I have, and even within my home. But basically, this is all that I have for this evening regarding leadership. And I'd like to open up the floor for any questions.
That was very good, Dr. Graham. Good info. Do you plan on going every year?
I don't know. I would like to return, and I feel like it's like a giant shot in the arm of encouragement, and you can do it as well as this is how you do it.
Okay.
So right now, I have it on my calendar, but I need to pray about it.
Okay. I noticed next year it's during my birthday, so I was just curious because I was already starting to think about it too.
Well, maybe we can plan to go together.
Yeah, I'm excited. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Graham? How do you feel like it tied into whatever, what else we learned with the 21 Laws of Leadership, the John Maxwell?
In terms of this presentation or the whole?
Just like the whole seminar.
It definitely, I think it tied in numerous ways. On the people part, numerous speakers spoke on about your team and that is people issues when you get up to the higher levels, and building the relationships. And John Maxwell talks about to have a team behind you. You need to work on building their relationships, knowing what their dreams, what their goals are, and having them to buy into what the whole team dream and goals are. So they spoke on that. So that definitely tied in. Also, I believe John Maxwell went into the same thing that this did of you need to be focused on the positive and where the future is going, not be reflecting back to the past and negative things or things that may be holding you back. That was then, this is now. So, and then he also, some of the speakers spoke on that you really need to be reading.
Yes.
And John Maxwell also talks about you need to be reading, and reading not the love books.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're called.
Personal development books.
There we go. Romance novels.
Yes.
You need to be reading books that are building you up, teaching you how to be a better leader, better in your relationships. And so there's a number of ways that it worked off of each other.
Now John Maxwell wasn't actually there, right?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay. Well, and that, just so you know, team, another thing to think about what she's saying is if you have one person on your team, you're a leader. So it doesn't mean you have to have 30 or we just hit 500 on Team Allen. Yay. So the thing is, I mean, just know that, one person on your team, you're now a leader. So how are you going to lead that person? How are you going to help them grow their business? And, that's where we talk about the power of 3. It's a good basic concept to start with, is just, going silver every single month for a minimum goal, and then training your team to do the same. But thank you. That was great information. I took a lot of notes. And I'm excited to hear next week's too. So we have her also coming on next week to do part 2 for us.
So my thoughts, and since we've got another 30 minutes, I can share one more topic, but I don't have it in a PowerPoint if you want me to. Or do you want to just save it for next week?
Totally up to you. Does everybody want to keep going, or do y'all want to finish here? Everybody's been very quiet. Patsy, what do you think? Oh no. It's totally up to you, Dr. Graham.
Okay, well, I'll cover one more topic, and I'm going to go to Sarah Marble's discussion. I already told you where she was coming from.
Yes.
And
by the way, guys, tell her we have a lot of newbies on tonight, so just tell people who Sarah Marble is.
Okay, and should I unshare my screen here with this and just go to my face, or does it matter?
Sure, yeah, you can do that. You just stop sharing at the top.
Okay, stop share, okay. Okay, and then do I click on my picture or just on my?
Oh, no, you're there now. We can see you now. You're good.
Okay. So Sarah Marble is a Diamond Ambassador within Plexus. And at the Mastermind Convention, the speakers did not share and never mentioned a particular company, whether it's their company or any other company out there. And we were not allowed to share our company. I mean, you could, with the person next to you, say what company you're from, but we were all in agreement that we were not sharing hey, you want to buy some Plexus products? And I'll, and then the person next to me says, hey, do you want to buy some of my products? We weren't doing any of that, and everybody agreed to not do that. So when Sarah got up there, she was not sharing specifically about Plexus. She just said, my company or the company I'm with. So she gave a topic called overcoming challenges in your business. And she came across, she did something called the 4 P's, like the letter P. And she shared about the story I just shared with y'all about her being in her pajamas and not taking a shower, getting dressed for 3 or 4 full straight days, trying to put out the fires of with customer service about the website change. And the first P, she said, perspective. You need to ask yourself, how bad is what you're going through? So she had to sit back and say, okay, how bad is this? And she said, well, it's pretty bad, but I really can't do anything about it. So she said, okay, now that I've been sitting here for 3 days, I need to surround myself with a support team. And that's when she went and visited with her mom. And she said, all of us need to have positive friends and positive leaders in our lives. We need to remove from our life people that are not positive. Some people we cannot get rid of. That might be our spouse. Hopefully nobody's in that type of situation. But if we have friends that are tearing us down, or people around us that are, this business isn't good, or anything that you would take as negative, then you need to distance yourself from that person. And if it is something that just continues on and on, maybe you need to remove yourself completely from the relationship. She also encouraged that you build the relationship with people at corporate. She said, if you've been on the phone with somebody for a long time at corporate, send them a thank you note. Or maybe send the guys over there a bunch of pizzas. Or do something like that, but make that relationship with the people at corporate. Because they're working hard too, and they get a lot of times the negative thrown at them before they ever get the positive. And also, you need to have mentors in your life that will help you have the right perspective. The second P is purpose. Get back to why you are doing Plexus. So you need to ask yourself the question, what is my why? And I would tell you that for me personally, my why has changed. When I first started with Plexus, my why was to get healthy. I was already on a healthy journey, but my why, that's why I got on Plexus initially. And then I decided, well, it would be great to maybe make some money off of this, and let's just see what it does. Well, then my why became to be able to pay for my children's school out of my Plexus income as opposed to out of my other income. And then over the past, I would say 2 weeks or a week and a half or so, I think my why is changing once again, because now I am looking at my next 2 5-year picture plan, and where does Plexus fit into that? So sometimes our why does change, and I would say for most of us it probably is changing or will change. And I would encourage you to write it down. Don't just assume you know it, because that's going to help you get back to your purpose when you need to. So the third P is a plan. Do not let your circumstances derail you from your business. Having your circumstances derail your business has a greater effect on you without a plan. So, for instance, Sarah's example is that when she was so derailed by all the people on her team contacting her, what do I do? What do I do about this back office change? She let it derail her. But when she sort of snapped out of it and said, I can't do anything about this, or very little about this, she created a plan and said, okay, what can I do? So I am going to write down She said she made a list, and she'd recommend for everybody to do this and make a list of today, what are your top 10 things that you can do. So your top 10 things that you can do in Plexus for your business, income producing activity, which is also called IPA. What are those things? And then schedule a time that you will do those. If there is a problem you're dealing with that doesn't grow your business, then step over it. So in other words, if somebody, back to her example, she realized the problem with the back office was not growing her business, and she's like, I've got to step over this. I've got to move beyond this and past this, because this is not income producing activity. And she said, failing to plan is planning to fail. We may have heard that phrase before. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And she gave the 5-3-1 example, which many of us have heard. In fact, maybe she's the one who created it. I'm not sure. But she said every day she reaches out to 5 new people. And every day she follows up with 3 people. And then every day she checks in with 1 of her team members. So the 5-3-1. 5 reach out to 5 new people, follow up with 3 people, and 1 is check in with 1 team member. So far we have a perspective, which is how bad how bad is what you're going through. You need to surround yourself with positive people. Next is a purpose. Get back to why you are doing Plexus. And have a plan. Have a bigger plan, but have a daily plan. And create that top 10 things you need to do to grow your business, income producing activity today. And then identify who are those individuals. And she gave the example of using a 5-3-1. And the last P is perseverance. Who will you become when you are chasing your dreams? So it's enjoying the journey along the way. Pressing through adversity makes you become a great leader. So as we chug on through this, and it's not really a chug in a negative sense, but taking a step every single step of the way, we are becoming better leaders. And we are becoming somebody else because we're pursuing our dreams. So if we all look at our lives and we compare it back to when we were 20 years old to the age that we are now, we can look at it and probably say, even if we're 25, we could say we are a different person now than we were then. We're at the core the same person, but we are wiser. We have a different perspective. We understand why we were told to do this. Maybe at the time we didn't understand why we needed to do a certain way. But we are a different person now. So pressing through adversity makes you become a great listener. And she said, read, listen, and associate with the right people. And earlier in this talk, we were talking about have positive friends and leaders in your life. So, and she's also said, action kills fear. So you need to get yourself going. So if you are being fearful, which is what we talked about the first part of our discussion earlier about sabotaging ourselves, and are we hitting a plateau, or are we living off of fear? Sarah's recommendation is action kills that fear. So the things that she recommended for the action, just to review, were make a plan. If you are failing to plan is planning to fail. And she said make a list of the top 10 things you will accomplish today, and then do income producing activity. 5-3-1. 5 new people, follow up with 3 people, and 1 is check in with 1 team member. So basically that was Sarah's talk, and it sort of bounces off of Randy Gage's talk in a way as well, to give us tools to be able to become the better leader that we are called to be, and how to do that.
Wow, all really good tips.
Uh-huh.
I like, yeah, Sarah Marble. If you guys haven't heard of Sarah, like she said, she's a Diamond Ambassador. You can also go to her YouTube channel, and she's very big on personal development. And I know that she actually sets herself to have personal development goals monthly. And she's really big on that. And I think it's a good thing to add to our goals when we're doing our monthly goals, whether it be, signing the 3 ambassadors, working toward however many customers you're wanting to get, your rank advancement goals, but also your personal development goals. What are you working on personally to get to? Melissa talks a lot about what are your goals and what are you doing now to connect your why to your how. Like, how are you going to get to where you want to be? So what are your action steps to get there? So just a side note that I'm starting to set myself some personal development goals monthly too, whether it be the books I'm reading. We just got finished, Dr. Graham and I, with the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's a great book. We read 2 chapters a week, and we met on Zoom every single week. So it was a really good study, and I think a lot of us are going to branch off and do that again starting in January. But there's a lot of other really good books out there, as she even showed you some of them. So let us know if you have some other, you're wanting to know of, or some other books. Sometimes we do book clubs as well. We've done that a couple times. We did Circle Maker. We've done How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business, and that's something else we may bring back as well. I know somebody was mentioning wanting to do the How to Win Friends and Influence People with the Dale Carnegie, which is supposed to be another really good book.
Melanie, this is Patsy. The one thing I really like that Dr. Graham just said is action kills fear. And I think that is my biggest fear right there, is that, sometimes it's just nice to not say anything, but it's important that if you don't want to grow your business, you can just sit there and not say anything, but you have to say something. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes you feel stupid. Sometimes you're scared to death. But if you just open your mouth and share, those people are out there. They really need this product and they really want it. So, and they're not afraid of you. You're more afraid of them. So if you just open your mouth and let it come out, because that's my biggest fear, is to open my mouth sometimes when I just want to shut it and walk away. It's easier for me that way. But, you lose a lot of potentials, plus a lot of people that you can help. But I love that phrase.
Well, and that's a really good point, because, and I think you just said, we always hear the quote, we're blessed to be a blessing to others. And, we have to remember that. Melissa, by the way, if you guys don't know who Melissa is, she's our Diamond Upline, so I will reference her a lot. Patsy and I have both been to a lot of her trainings, but Melissa also talks a lot about, people are going to bed at night more worried about, how to pay their bills than the 10 pounds on their hips. So don't forget to bring up not only the health, but the benefits of this compensation plan from a financial standpoint. There's a lot of people out there dying for our products from a health and a financial perspective. So know that you opening your mouth is blessing other people. Believe it or not, honestly, I pray daily for God just to bring me people that I can touch. And I went to dinner the other night for my birthday, no expectations of working that night. Even told the team I'm unplugged for the first time ever, I think, and met a lady that just came up to me and was just, her and her husband were type 2 diabetic, and she's my new ambassador today. So
whoa, that's good.
You just never know whose life you can touch. And how exciting that, because she came up and talked to me and just said happy birthday, and we ended up just chatting for about 30 minutes and talked again today, and she's just super excited and ready to jump in. So you just never know. And if you don't say anything, you opening your mouth is blessing a lot of people too. You just never know whose life you're going to touch. So that's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Patsy.
Yeah, and the same thing with Facebook. If you don't post on Facebook, Facebook is one of your biggest audience every day, not just for a second, but every day you have a benefit of posting and reaching someone. So that's something a lot of people are afraid to post. I'm not afraid to post, but just don't be afraid to post. Put it out there. You're not going to, I haven't yet. I've been in this for a year, and no one ever has said anything derogative towards me about, oh, you're posting on Plexus again. So, and even if they did, I don't care. So I think just don't be afraid.
So I was going to say, I was very nervous at first and worried what people thought about me. But again, when you have the mindset and the belief, like, we do, and we just hope to pass that on to you. Spend some time reading testimonies to really help build your belief too, and make sure you make it a priority to get to the meetings in your area because they really will help build your belief. But, also just know by you posting and being bold and sharing, you're going to be changing hundreds of lives. It's very humbling to think, because I've never missed a day of posting, we now have 500 people on Team Allen, but hundreds of lives are changed because I said yes to Plexus. Thousands of lives are changed because Melissa said yes to Plexus, so it's really humbling and just so grateful when you look at it from that perspective, and knowing the messages that I get now of just, you gave me my life back. Thank you so much for being bold and sharing. How can I not continue to share? That is such a blessing for so many people. So
right.
My mindset has totally changed on that.
That's right. Amen, sister.
Yeah, right?
Right.
So I know we have a lot of newbies on tonight, so feel free, guys. I mean, you don't even have to show your cameras, but if you just want to just say who you are and ask questions, you got a lot of leaders on tonight to help you.
You can ask about anything that you really want to know. I know Tony and I were on the phone for a while this afternoon, but I just gave her the fast once over, and I'm sure she has lots of questions. But is there anything that you really need to have answered, Tony, or any of you?
One thing I'd like to ask, can y'all hear me?
I can. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Hi. I just want to ask, we say drink one Plexus Slim a day. Do any of you drink more than that?
I do only on the days that I may feel like I'm dragging a little bit more.
Okay.
It's only 40% effective for the second one, so I don't do it every single day because I just think it gets too expensive, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking because
Uh-oh. I think we lost her. Is everybody else still there?
I'm still
helping me a lot with the inflammation. And so the first one, I could feel the pain going away. And then the second one, like you said, it didn't do quite as much. But I was even up to, say, 3 to 4 a day. And I finally backed off to just doing basically 2 again a day and going back to taking my inflammation pill. But I just was wondering about that.
How many ProBio are you on, and are you doing the ease line for the inflammation?
No, I'm not doing the ease. I'm doing the ProBio.
Okay.
And I'm just fixing to start on the block to see if that will help me more.
Okay. How many ProBio are you taking?
The ProBio, I just take 1 to 2 a day.
Yeah, that's your problem.
How many do you think I need to take?
Well, I would just slowly work up to more, but how many BioCleanse are you on?
The BioCleanse, I'm doing 1 a day.
Okay. And are you regular daily with just 1?
Yes.
Okay. I would up your ProBio slowly. We're going to need to get more that's, I think we need to get your inflammation down, but also I think ease would benefit from ease if you're talking about having inflammation.
Yeah, I just ordered some more ease.
As long as you're not allergic to shellfish, it's got the green lip mussel in it, but ease is amazing.
Okay.
And I take it every single day for internal inflammation due to my Hashimoto's.
Okay.
So I have taken 4 ProBio 5 with 2 E's. Well, I've taken 4 ProBio 5 for a year, every single night. But I've worked up to that slowly. And then I take 2 E's now, and that actually is what helped me break through a weight loss plateau I had. So,
okay. So how many do you think should I work up to doing the 4 ProBio 5?
I would work up to 4 if you're having that much inflammation going on.
Okay. And 2 E's, and how many BioCleanse do you think?
Well, whatever's going to make you regular daily. I have to take 4 to 6.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody's different. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to just whatever's going to be for your body. But if you want to private message me, I can help you through your regimen.
Okay.
Feel free to message me. I'll help you with that. No problem.
Okay.
That's I want you guys to so if you have any questions, feel free to message me and I can help you work through your regimen.
Okay. I also wanted to tell y'all, I went to Sarah Spalding's Sip and See, and I enjoyed it very much, and I ended up giving my testimony there. And I used to sing in front of groups all the time, but I didn't talk in front of groups. So that was my big fear, if you will. And so that was a very good, uplifting experience for me, and I really appreciated the opportunity to do that.
Well, wonderful. And I think they're going to be doing more meetings. I know I know they really go to a lot of meetings. That's why you see me tagging you in a lot
Yeah,
of
Jan and I are talking offline now.
Oh, good. Good,
Yeah,
good.
so we're getting to know each other well.
And Jan is a great person to follow, lead. She's I think last month she was top PV for the whole entire team Icon Horse of 7,000 people. So you're in good hands with Jan.
Okay, good.
Also duplicate her posts. Her posts are great.
Okay,
Really good
thanks.
posts on Facebook. So just make sure you're posting every single day. You know,
I'll try.
you can make sure you're getting more traffic that way. Because remember, only 25% of your Facebook friends see your post.
I
So
know.
you're not bugging people. You know,
Okay.
so doing those personal posts too. But and I'm telling this to everybody, not just you. I have no idea if you're posting or not, Nancy. I don't have time to check up on anybody.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
No, I talked to several of my people online that I know have major problems.
Good.
And some of them have tried the Plexus prior, and then some of them just tell me, I'm sorry, I can't afford it because I've tried it before and I just can't afford it. So I still work with them and talk with them about it, and hopefully they'll come back, you know.
Yes, and a lot of times people, you know, unfortunately didn't get advice of how to take it or what their regimen should be or what products they should be on and get that guidance. So a lot of people will turn around and try it again if they realize, you know, okay, well, it's really working, you know, for you, and I'd like to get, you know, maybe try it again.
Right. So that's my goal, is to keep on all these people that have tried it before and new people. And I want, every time I talk to somebody, oh yeah, I've heard about that, or oh yeah, I've tried that. So we'll just keep keeping on and it'll come.
Yes, and most people, honestly, when they say, oh, it didn't work for me, they tried it for like 2 weeks or maybe 30 days, or they weren't on the right products, you know, things like that. Or they weren't taking enough of the ProBio, which is critical, I think. So, you know, we just have to make sure and stay on top of them with like, oh, what did you take? Or, you know, things like that too. So.
Okay.
Anyone else? Summer is new. Summer, you have any questions? Welcome. Glad you're on tonight. Lena's new. Lena joined this month. So I've got 2 of my new level 1s on tonight. Way to go, guys. Good job. Don't worry, we can't see you, but you can just talk. They're all like, dude, can you see me? We don't have to see you, but we can hear you if you want to ask any questions. Patricia, welcome. We're glad you're here tonight.
When is the next training, Melanie, on getting started? Do you know when that is? Is that going to be this week sometime with someone else?
Sure. We'll have to ask Melissa if they're having one, or if you want to lead one this week, we can throw one in. We can use my presentation if you want to lead one possibly this week.
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I'm getting this coughing thing again, but I'll see. Maybe towards the end of the week, maybe I can.
Okay.
I tagged Tony and Vicki Brown's that she had. I think it was recorded too. I tagged her in that one. That's a good one for people to listen to if they're just getting started. We don't have anything going right now, so you might want to tag the rest of them in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'll send people that one, and then we'll try to do them at least, you know, once a month under iPridge. But of course, Melissa has. Oh, you know what? Melissa just posted about one coming up. I'm gonna stop